2026 is not just another year passing by on the calendar. It's not another date you flip to and forget. It is a calling, a divine appointment between who you are and who you were always meant to become. This year carries weight, purpose, and opportunity disguised as responsibility. It's the year that demands you stop existing and start living with intention. Every sunrise in 2026 is a reminder that you still have breath, and if you have breath, you still have purpose. You weren't placed on this earth to drift through time, but to dominate your assignment and fulfill what's been written for you since before you even arrived here. You've gone through too many storms to stay the same. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every disappointment was not random. It was building something inside you that comfort never could. Those sleepless nights, those silent tears, those private battles nobody knows about were all shaping you into someone unshakable. 2026 is the season when you use everything you've been through as fuel, not as an excuse. You can't keep replaying the pain when you were meant to rewrite your story with purpose. This is the year you stop apologizing for wanting more. You were never designed to fit into small spaces. You were built for expansion. The desire inside you for greatness isn't arrogance. It's alignment with destiny. You can't dim your light just because others are uncomfortable with your shine. You can't keep pretending you're okay being average when everything in you is screaming for excellence. 2026 is the moment you stop negotiating with fear and start walking in faith that you were made for more. This year carries divine timing. Everything that didn't make sense before will begin to connect when you move in obedience and confidence. Opportunities that seemed locked will begin to open when you act on what's been placed in your heart. The vision inside of you has an expiration date if you don't move on it. You can't keep waiting for perfect conditions. You create them by moving forward. The moment you take the first step, God meets you halfway, and that's when supernatural acceleration begins. You must understand that this year won't reward hesitation. 2026 is for those who are bold enough to decide that their past will not dictate their progress. You can't enter this new season carrying old mindsets. Fear has had enough of your attention. Doubt has borrowed enough of your days. Regret has stolen enough of your peace. This is the time to reclaim your energy and focus it on becoming the person you were destined to be. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your authentic power. Every single moment you've been through up to now was training. The pain was building endurance. The waiting was refining your patience. The failures were sculpting your wisdom. And the silence was teaching you how to hear your inner voice again. In 2026, you walk with the awareness that nothing was wasted. Every event, good or bad, was preparation for this very season. What once broke you now builds you. What once delayed you now defines you. Your growth this year will come from responsibility, not luck. You can't wish your way into transformation. You must work your way into it. You owe it to yourself to wake up every day and demand excellence from the person in the mirror. You don't need anyone's permission to evolve. You just need your own decision. Stop waiting for validation. Stop asking for approval. Your purpose doesn't need an audience. It needs action. 2026 will bless the doers, not the doubters. When you start walking in purpose, you'll notice how things align that once resisted you. People who left you were part of the pruning, not the punishment. Situations that didn't work out were redirections, not rejections. You'll begin to see that divine order has been guiding you the entire time, even through confusion. Everything you lost was clearing space for everything you're about to gain. This year requires trust in timing, trust in the process, and trust in the one who gave you the dream in the first place. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of commitment. The person who's confident, disciplined, unshakable, and clear about their mission is already inside you, waiting to be revealed. 2026 isn't about creating a new you. It's about uncovering the real you that's been buried under fear, procrastination, and doubt. Every time you take one step toward your purpose, you peel back a layer of limitation and reveal another level of your power. And when you look back months from now, you'll realize that everything started with one decision. The decision to take this year seriously, to treat it like the divine opportunity it truly is. 2026 is your turning point, your appointed time to step into alignment with your destiny. The question isn't whether the year will bring miracles. The question is whether you'll move like someone expecting them. You owe it to yourself to stop recycling excuses, because every time you repeat the same story about why you can't, you reinforce the walls that keep you stuck. Excuses are comfortable lies that disguise themselves as logic. They sound reasonable. They feel safe, but they rob you of progress. You've told yourself, I'm not ready, I don't have time, or I'll start when things settle down. So many times that those words have become a lullaby to your potential. The truth is, things will never settle down perfectly. Life will never roll out a red carpet for you to begin. You begin, and then things align. You move, and then clarity shows up. You owe it to yourself to stop negotiating with procrastination. Every day you delay what you know you should be doing, you're teaching your mind that comfort is more valuable than purpose. You can't keep asking for change while you keep choosing convenience. Every dream has a due date, and the more you postpone, the more you dilute the power of momentum. Momentum is built in motion, not in waiting. The ones who win in life are not always the most talented. They're the ones who act when others hesitate. You owe it to yourself to break free from the habit of waiting for the perfect time. There's no such thing as the right moment. There's only a moment you decide to make right. You've got to start where you are with what you have and trust that the rest will unfold as you go. The fear of starting small has destroyed more dreams than failure ever did. Nobody starts at the finish line. Every master was once a beginner who refused to quit when things didn't look impressive. Your breakthrough is hiding behind your obedience to start now. You owe it to yourself to stop replaying old disappointments like they're still your reality. What happened in your past was a lesson, not a life sentence. You can't move forward while dragging the weight of yesterday. Stop letting what didn't work out define what's still possible for you. Every time you bring up your past as an excuse, you delay your future. The pain taught you what not to do. Now it's time to use that wisdom to do what you've been called to do. You owe it to yourself to stop surrounding yourself with people who feed your excuses. There are those who will comfort your stagnation because they're afraid of your growth. They'll tell you, You're doing fine when they know you're playing small. You don't need approval from people who are content with mediocrity. You need accountability from people who see greatness in you and won't let you settle. The company you keep will either feed your excuses or fuel your excellence. And it's your responsibility to choose the difference. You owe it to yourself to stop hiding behind someday. Someday is a myth, a soft word we use to avoid facing our own hesitation. You don't need someday, you need today. You don't need next month, you need now. Every goal you've been dreaming about depends on your ability to act in the present. The world is not waiting for your plans. It's waiting for your action. Every great achievement begins as a moment of decision where you say, enough is enough. You owe it to yourself to silence the voice that says you're not ready. Readiness is a decision, not a condition. You become ready by stepping forward, not by standing still. Waiting to feel confident before you act is like waiting for a fire to start before you strike the match. Confidence grows in movement. Every time you take imperfect action, you train your spirit to trust itself more. Every time you delay, you reinforce doubt. You don't need more motivation, you need momentum. You owe it to yourself to face the truth about your habits. Excuses thrive where discipline is absent. If you want transformation, you must confront the choices that contradict your goals. You can't want success, but entertain laziness. You can't pray for change, but keep old patterns that prevent it. The same actions will always produce the same outcomes, no matter how much you hope for something different. Your excuses will always sound convincing until your results prove otherwise. You owe it to yourself to remember that every day is a chance to rewrite your narrative. You're not bound by what you didn't do last year. You're empowered by what you can start doing right now. Every sunrise is an invitation to start over without apology. You don't need to wait for permission or approval to take a step toward your future. The only thing that stands between your current reality and your desired one is consistent, deliberate action, not explanations, not justifications, not stories, action. You owe it to yourself to treat your goals like a debt you must repay, not an option you can ignore. Excuses will always demand your attention, but results will always demand your commitment. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. You can't cash potential, you can only cash performance. When you stop recycling excuses, you reclaim authority over your life. When you stop postponing purpose, you start walking in power. The time is not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. It's now, because you owe it to yourself to finally move. Every challenge you faced was not punishment, it was preparation for something greater. The pain you felt, the setbacks you endured, and the disappointments you carried were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to develop you. Life doesn't waste experiences. Every storm that hit you came with a lesson designed to sharpen your focus and strengthen your resolve. The moments that felt like breaking points were actually building blocks, shaping the kind of strength that can't be faked. You've been stretched so that your capacity could expand, and now that you've survived what was meant to stop you, you're ready for what's meant to elevate you. When things fell apart, it wasn't because you were being punished. It was because you were being positioned. The delays, the detours, And the denials were part of divine design. Sometimes you can't see it when you're in the middle of the test, but every challenge was chiseling away the parts of you that couldn't carry your next level. You prayed for growth, but growth rarely comes without growing pains. Every tear was watering the soil of your future. Every no you faced was redirecting you toward the yes that truly matters. Pain has a way of introducing you to your power. When comfort disappears, clarity appears. You start seeing who you are and what you're truly capable of when you have no choice but to keep moving. Pressure doesn't break you, it reveals you. It shows you the strength that's been buried beneath your fear. It awakens a hunger that only adversity can feed. The struggle wasn't there to keep you small. It was there to remind you that you were built to endure, to overcome, to rise, and to win even when the odds don't look fair. You needed those challenges because they taught you how to stand when support was missing. They taught you how to believe in yourself when validation disappeared. They trained you to depend on discipline, not emotion. Comfort can make you careless, but struggle makes you conscious. It forces you to examine what really matters and who you really are. Every time life tested you, it was revealing what still needed to be refined. Every time you were pushed to your limit, you discovered that your limit was an illusion. The truth is, you can't receive the blessings of strength without first walking through seasons of weakness. The person you are becoming needed every difficult moment to learn resilience. The disappointment you experienced taught you how to value divine timing. The heartbreak you survived taught you how to love yourself enough to heal. The failures you endured taught you how to approach success with humility and wisdom. Every challenge carried a hidden treasure, not in what you lost, but in what you learned. You may not realize it now, but every closed door protected you. Every delay kept you from arriving unprepared. Every time something didn't go your way, it was God's way of saying, not yet, you're still in training. You can't step into a new season with the same habits, mindsets, or emotions that kept you bound in the old one. The process was stretching your faith, sharpening your focus, and molding your character so that when the opportunity arrives, you'll be ready to sustain it. When you look back at your hardest moments, you'll see a pattern of grace running through them. You were never alone in those battles. Even when you felt forgotten, you were being guided. Even when you felt broken, you were being built. The process doesn't always announce its purpose while it's happening, but in hindsight, you'll recognize that everything worked together for your development. The same situations that once drained you are the same ones that now define your strength. Every challenge carries an assignment to teach you something, to shift you somewhere, or to prepare you for someone you're meant to become. Pain isn't a detour, it's part of the path. You don't get to skip the process and still expect to be prepared for the promise. You can't pray for strength and then reject the situations that require it. You can't ask for wisdom and then avoid the lessons that build it. The reason you've been tested so much is because you're trusted with much more. You've already proven that you can survive what others couldn't. That means you've already earned the right to rise higher. But the lesson of those challenges wasn't just survival, it was transformation. You weren't meant to go through the fire just to come out the same. You were meant to emerge refined, wiser, and more aware of your power. The process didn't weaken you, it purified you. The things that used to shake you no longer have authority over you because you've seen yourself survive worse. Now, every obstacle that comes your way is no longer a reason to quit. It's a reminder of what you've already overcome. You don't have to fear challenges anymore because you've learned they carry the blueprint of your next breakthrough. You've been equipped through adversity, built through endurance, and strengthened through struggle. What once looked like punishment has proven to be preparation for something far greater than you imagined. And every challenge was secretly setting the stage for your next season of power. You can't soar with eagles while you're still walking with pigeons, because the level of your environment determines the altitude of your growth. Every person around you is either pulling you higher or holding you down, either fueling your fire or draining your focus. You can't build a vision in the company of people who are comfortable living without one. You can't talk purpose with people who only speak problems. The company you keep is a mirror of where you're headed. And if you're surrounded by small minds, you'll start shrinking your own to fit their comfort zone. The truth is, some of the people you love most can't go where you're going because they're not willing to grow like you're growing. You've been loyal to circles that no longer match your calling. You've tried to carry people who refuse to climb, and it's been slowing you down more than you realize. You can't keep trying to convince someone to rise when their content's staying on the ground. Some people will never understand your drive because they've never had to dream beyond survival. You've got to accept that elevation requires separation, and sometimes the price of purpose is distance. You can still love them, but you can't let their limitations become your lifestyle. Every eagle has to leave the flock to find its wings. When an eagle soars, it rides on winds that pigeons can't handle. The air gets thinner, the pressure increases, but that's where the freedom is. That's where the perspective is. You were not created to stay grounded in gossip, comparison, and mediocrity. You were made to rise above distraction, to think higher, and to move differently. You can't keep lowering your standards to be understood by people who have no interest in elevation. When you decide to separate yourself, it doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you're serious about your assignment. Growth isn't arrogance. It's accountability to your potential. You've got too much inside of you to stay in environments that don't challenge you to stretch. Iron sharpens iron, not paper. You can't expect to sharpen your discipline around people who make excuses for their own laziness. The right environment doesn't just inspire you, it convicts you to rise. You owe it to your future to evaluate your circle honestly. Who are you listening to every day? Who are you sharing your ideas with? Who are you giving access to your energy? The people you talk to the most will either water your vision or poison it. If they don't speak life, if they don't push you toward excellence, if they don't believe in something bigger than comfort, then you're wasting valuable energy that could be invested into growth. Protect your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your mindset, your faith, your focus all depend on who surrounds you. You can't afford to have dream killers in your corner. Some people are too afraid to chase their own calling, so they'll try to distract you from yours. They'll call your goals unrealistic because they've never seen faith in action. They'll mock your ambition because it reminds them of what they quit on. You can't take advice from people who've never built what you're trying to create. You can't expect encouragement from those who find comfort in mediocrity. Your destiny doesn't require their validation. It requires your separation. Elevation will always expose who's truly for you. When you start to grow, pay attention to who claps and who criticizes. Some people loved you when you were struggling because your struggle made them feel safe. But the moment you start walking in confidence, they'll start calling you different. That's fine. You're supposed to be different. You were never meant to blend in. The higher you go, the smaller your circle becomes, and that's not rejection, it's refinement. It's the universe trimming away everything that can't survive your next altitude. Don't be afraid to outgrow people who refuse to grow with you. Real friends won't compete with your progress. They'll celebrate it. Real mentors won't let you stay the same. They'll challenge you. Real leaders won't flatter your comfort. They'll stretch your character. If the people around you aren't inspiring you to reach higher, then you've outgrown that environment. You can't expect expansion while staying planted in shallow soil. Sometimes you have to move to new ground to unlock new growth. Surround yourself with those who speak in the language of faith, not fear. You need people who see possibilities when others see problems. You need voices that remind you of who you are when life tries to make you forget. You need people who pray for you, not preying on your weakness. Your tribe determines your trajectory. The atmosphere around you should challenge your complacency and remind you daily that you're capable of more than you think. When you start choosing your company wisely, you'll notice your energy shift. Your ideas will flow easier, your focus will sharpen, and your pace will quicken. Being around driven people activates something inside of you, a hunger, a discipline, a sense of accountability that keeps you moving even when motivation fades. You begin to see that success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being in rooms that make you smarter. And as you continue to rise, you'll realize that flying with eagles was never about escaping others. It was about embracing the altitude where your destiny was always waiting. What you speak becomes what you see because your words are the architects of your reality. Every sentence that leaves your mouth is a seed planted in the soil of your life. You can't speak defeat all week and expect victory to show up on Sunday. The universe, your mind, and your faith respond to the frequency of your words. When you speak lack, you attract limitation. When you speak faith, you attract favor. What you constantly declare becomes the atmosphere you live in. And if you want to change what you see, you must first change what you say. The power of your tongue is not a cliche, it's a law. Words carry spiritual weight. They create, they build, they destroy, and they multiply. If you've been careless with your language, you've been careless with your future. You can't keep calling yourself unlucky, broke, or tired and expect your life to produce abundance, energy, and opportunity. Your speech programs your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind programs your actions. Every I am you speak becomes a prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. When you speak negatively, you give permission for limitation to take root. You allow your emotions to dictate your declarations. But when you learn to speak with authority, even when your circumstances don't agree, you shift from being a victim of your environment to being the creator of it. Faith-filled words are not about pretending, they're about proclaiming. You're not denying reality, you're defining it. You're shaping it according to your vision instead of surrendering to what you see. You have to discipline your mouth the same way you discipline your habits. Every complaint weakens your focus. Every excuse delays your momentum. Every self-criticism chips away at your confidence. But every declaration of strength, gratitude, and success builds your mental resilience. Speak power when you feel powerless. Speak peace when chaos surrounds you. Speak abundance when your bank account is empty. Speak healing when your heart is heavy. Words are weapons. And you've been armed with the ability to command your own atmosphere. You must be intentional with your vocabulary because your future is listening. Every time you say, I can't, your future starts closing doors. Every time you say, I will, your future starts opening them. The universe responds to conviction, not confusion. Half-hearted declarations produce half-hearted results. You can't say you want success, but keep speaking doubt. You can't pray for change and keep cursing your situation in the next sentence. Your words must align with your vision, or your vision will be destroyed by your words. Start paying attention to the conversations you have daily with others and with yourself. The most dangerous dialogue is not the one you have with people, it's the one you have in your own head. Every thought that becomes a word is either empowering you or enslaving you. Stop rehearsing failure. Stop repeating fear. Start rehearsing victory. Speak life into your ideas, your relationships, your health, your finances, your purpose. Every time you speak life, you breathe hope into your atmosphere. Your words are not harmless. They are instructions to your future. When you declare, I am strong, your mind begins to gather evidence to prove it. When you declare, I am capable, your actions start to align with that belief. When you say, I can't, your brain shuts down the possibility of trying. You are the author of your story, and every chapter begins with what you say next. If you want a different ending, you must start using different words. The world has taught people to speak casually, but nothing about your destiny is casual. Every word is a building block or a wrecking ball. Speak with precision. Speak with purpose. Speak like someone who knows that creation began with speech. You can rewrite your entire life with the right declarations. Your situation might not change overnight, but your spirit will. And when your spirit changes, your decisions follow, and your reality must eventually align. You must start treating your words like currency. Don't spend them on negativity that gives no return. Invest them in faith, gratitude, and perseverance. Speak about the future as if it's already unfolding, because it is. Your mouth is not a place for complaining. It's a command center for creation. Every time you open it, you're either making deposits of destiny or withdrawals of doubt. Speak wisely, because what you say consistently becomes what you experience eventually. When you begin to use your words as tools Instead of toys, everything shifts. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop echoing the noise around you and start amplifying the truth within you. You realize that your life has always been echoing your language, your results, your mindset, your relationships all mirror the tone of your tongue. The day you master your speech is the day you master your direction, because what you speak doesn't just describe your life, it designs it. Don't wait for a sign. You are the sign. Everything you've been praying for, looking for, and hoping for is already inside you, waiting to be activated. Too many people spend their lives waiting for confirmation, waiting for approval, waiting for something external to tell them it's time to begin. But the truth is, the fact that the vision lives inside of you is already proof that you were chosen to bring it to life. You don't need another signal from the sky. Your desire to grow is the evidence that it's your season to move. The world doesn't need another reminder of your potential. It needs the realization of it. You've been given the ability to create change, not to wait for it. Every great movement began when someone stopped waiting for permission and decided to take responsibility for their purpose. You can't keep waiting for the right person, the right opportunity, or the right moment, because those things are waiting for you. Destiny responds to decision, not delay. The moment you make up your mind that you're done waiting, everything begins to align around your intention. You were never meant to sit on the sidelines of your own story. You were meant to stand in the middle of it with courage and conviction. You are the sign that someone else is waiting for. Your courage might be the confirmation someone else needs to start their own journey. Your obedience to your calling could be the spark that lights a fire in someone else's purpose. When you rise, you give others permission to rise too. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to take the first step. You'll never realize how many people are watching your example until your example becomes their reason to believe. Every time you move in faith, you send a message to the universe that you're ready. The doors you've been praying to open are often waiting for you to knock. The opportunities you want to manifest are waiting for you to prepare. The moment you act, you activate. You can't pray for harvest and never plant the seed. You can't ask for direction and ignore the inner voice guiding you. You've been waiting for signs when all along the sign has been waiting for your decision. You've mistaken hesitation for wisdom, but wisdom isn't waiting. Wisdom is moving with awareness. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is step into the unknown. Staying still in fear feels safe, but it's the most dangerous place to be because it kills your momentum and weakens your faith. You grow stronger by doing, not by doubting. The moment you decide to move, everything that was standing in your way begins to lose its power. Fear feeds on delay, but it starves in motion. You've got to trust that what's inside of you is enough to start. You don't need more signs, you need more belief. You don't need more information, you need more application. You already have enough wisdom, experience, and strength to begin. Waiting for perfect clarity is a trap because clarity comes after movement, not before it. The path doesn't reveal itself to the idle, it reveals itself to the obedient. You were born equipped, and every time you act in faith, that equipment sharpens itself. You are not waiting on timing. Timing is waiting on you. The moment you move, momentum meets you. The moment you decide, destiny recognizes you. You keep asking for confirmation from others when you should be giving confirmation to yourself.